All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, Joe. I see I am being hosted by Particle IO. Cool. Appreciate that. And Visual Studio. That's awesome. Thanks, Visual Studio team, for hosting me today. We'll be showing off some Visual Studio code, so this is going to be pretty awesome. So, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Pretty excited today. So we're going to continue a bit of Tuesday. Recap what we did on Tuesday. I'll sort of keep on working on some things there, and also share a bit of an update. I actually had a friend, Clay Cooper. Hey Clay, if you're watching, reach out to me and ask how things are going with the RC car project. If you had watched my streams from last week and the week before, I did a bit of hacking and flailing about on some RC cars to add some particle xenons to those. So I have a bit of a surprise. I'm going to kick off today with a demo, which of my RC cars. So I'm going to make myself a little stream marker here. Try this thing out, see how that goes. Cool. So last week when I was in San Francisco, I did a stream from my hotel room, and I was able to get one of these cars completely working, did a little sort of a basic forward back turning sort of movement. I had a second car with me, and like a bonehead, I don't know, I forgot some AA batteries. So I have AA batteries now in spades, which is great. And I have two cars that are connected. I have multiple, but for the purpose of what we'll share now, I have two that are connected. And I am going to show you a little bit of what's going on with these two. So I mentioned before, a bit of a recap. So the whole premise of this project here behind me on the floor was creating a mesh network of RC cars. So these are just cheap Thunder Tumblers, sharper image cars. You can get them at CVS, any drugstore. Hacked them up to add particle xenons, part of our 3rd generation hardware. There is a gateway device that's sitting on that desk there behind me, and these are on a mesh network. Excuse me, I'm not touch the webcam. These are on a mesh network, and I am sending commands from the gateway device to these to make it go forward, back, do a little bit of rotation. So I have a particle function. I'll show you my mobile. This is the Particle mobile app. And I have this little run demo function inside here. Did not take the time to set up showing my phone. I'm going to click run demo. And if this works the way that it did 5 minutes ago, which is always a question with these kinds of things, then you're going to get to see an idea of I'm sending mesh publish and subscribe commands. These are UDP-based messages, very low latency, local network commands only. When I fire this particle function across the device cloud, the gateway then does a mesh publish to just the local network, and these two cars have a mesh subscribe, and they follow the commands, or they run a demo based on getting that. So here we go. I'm going to click the button, and aha. I have to turn the cars on. One moment, please. See, that was one of those things that I told myself, hey, you should remember to turn those cars on before you start the stream. And here we are. So, attempt number 2. And yes, you can see I am barefoot. I'm in my office. I'm nice and toasty. I'm barefoot. Okay. I'm going to click run demo. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about the way that worked out. So, one of them is at an angle, so it sort of went off a little bit, but they are moving forward and back at the same time based on the see command, and then turning around. I don't need shoes, Todd. I mean, I don't work in an office. Shoes are for people in offices. I'm in my home office, so I can do what I want. Anyway, so that worked. Pretty sweet. Yes, I'm excited that worked out. So that was a bit of an update there. And again, thanks, Clay, for asking. I will share more code for that soon. I will actually share, while I am switching back, I do have a GitHub repo for that. Let me open up here. switch over to my split screen. In my GitHub, I will post this in the stream. Mesh RC cars. Not my GitHub repo. Sorry, it's actually Particle's GitHub repo. But this is sort of the current firmware code for that. There's two different pieces. There are the vehicles themselves and the controller. Walked through some of that in the stream in the last couple of weeks. So wanted to share that very, very briefly. So now let's talk about building this libraries registry, which is where we were a little bit last week. Quickly, before I get into the meat of what we're going to build today, I will recap a couple of my additional DARP moments last week. As if you watched any of the stream, you may have observed that I spent a little bit of time flailing about in two areas before I finally ended the stream. One of those areas was I couldn't get my secrets to work properly with .env files. Completely my fault. I'll share that in a second. And then the other was that I was getting some weird errors once I actually moved all of my library calls into the Vuex store. So I wanted to share learnings from those because, again, as I mentioned, those are total DARP moments. In the case of secrets, and I'm just going to pull up .env.example, I had used particle token. This is correct. I was using, now of course I'm forgetting the name of it. What's the name of the library? .env, Nuxtjs.env, .env, whatever. And that was correct. Everything there was working the way that it was supposed to work, except for the fact that I didn't have quotes around my token. So lesson learned for me, quotes around tokens. Secrets now work. I did set up a GitHub repo, so now that's all out there, but the secrets were not committed. So token is none other. The second piece, and this is an important thing, sort of reminder to self. Now, when I set up the store, what I did basically was I created a, open this up. I created the store to get all the official libraries, to list those, to provide those via a library's data object, and then in my index, I then pulled in libraries via map state. And this is the piece that was not working. The reason why it wasn't working is because I needed to actually shut down the dev server, which you can see on the right-hand side, and then restart it in order to get those kinds of config changes to work. So lesson learned, anytime you're changing Nuxt config, anytime you're doing anything sort of outside of the main content itself, when in doubt, probably not a bad idea to restart the server and sort of see how things go. So I recovered from that. Now things are actually working properly again. My libraries are coming. This is still just the list of official libraries. If I were to come in and change this in my index view to use, in the store, to use not just official libraries, but public, and then refresh, I should get now a different list. So still just oh no, that's not right. Do I have to change that too? Because that's in the store. Possibly. Did that change at all? Did y'all see? I didn't see. Looks like the same. No, it's not. It's not the same list. Different. Few of these change. Internet button, asset tracker, power shield, maker kit, etc. Oh yeah, I set the limit. Let me change my limit to 25. Scope to public. And now I get a longer list. So, good news, everybody. Store is set up properly. We are ready to go off to the races. So there's a few things that I want to do today now that I have fully recovered from my Tuesday derps. I added a GitHub issue. So I pushed this out to GitHub. And I will share that repo. It's under GitHub bsatrum particle libraries. Woohoo. Just got a new follow and I totally missed it. Dang it. I gotta see who it is so I can say thank you. Let's see who that is. Noob. Total noob here. I don't want to ignore that because it totally like came on my screen and then went away way too quickly. Who is it? Oh, the dirt moment I can see at the bottom of my screen here, but BW, thank you. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I guess since I didn't mention it at the beginning of the stream, I can go ahead and share this now. But if you throw me a follow, and my good pal Todd Anglin, who's already commented on the stream, made this suggestion. If I get 100 Twitch followers by March 1st, I will dye my hair cyan blue, similar to the color on the status bar here to my left, your right, the lighter one. I already have the color picked out. My kids are super excited. My wife's not super excited, but I will do this. So if you are interested in helping to make that happen, please give me a follow, and we'll keep this party going. So I have a GitHub repo. The latest source has been pushed. You can check it out based on the link that I just shared. And I created a project for registry v1, which is where I sort of want to get with this over the course of the next couple of weeks. And there's a few different things that I have here. So typical Kanban style. Everybody loves Kanban, myself included. So created a Kanban list here, a couple of different things, items I've staged, things I'm going to work on in the next live stream. They say that developers are bad at estimation, and I definitely belong in that category because I think that we can do all of these things on this current stream today. We're already 15 minutes in, so we'll see. Pangloss MD, thank you so much for the follow. That's awesome. Welcome. And I apologize if I butchered your handle. These collections of letters, when you see them mushed together, sometimes it can be hard to make sense of them. But thank you, Pangloss. I'll just shorten it. You're awesome. I appreciate it. So next live stream, and then as we commit these things, I'll add them here, and then we'll get them deployed. That includes what I want to do by the end of the day today. I don't know if I added this here or not. I haven't had an item for it. Oh, is I actually want to deploy this to Zeit now, because Zeit's an awesome platform, and they do have some built-in support for Nuxt. So let's get rolling. The first step that I have is I want to actually add a UI framework to the site. I mentioned last time that I'm using Tachyons for a bit of nice CSS formatting. They have some great, very simple components for building fast, responsive interfaces. It's sort of a lightweight CSS library. It's helping me with basic things like, simple formatting, list formatting, and things like this, right? So one of the things that you can do in Tachyons, you can create grids very easily. There's a few things that I think I have already in my index. That's not that one. Index.view. So I don't have any of the styling in here right now, but you can actually set classes to, I think they, set fonts like code. The code font changes out a little bit. You can do things like F1, F2 to change sort of the size of your headings, things like that. So Tachyons is great for that kind of stuff. It's also relatively lightweight. Let me change this to an F4. It's lightweight. I've used Bootstrap a lot in the past. That sort of tends to be my inkling, is to go with Bootstrap again. However, I'm open to changing. I can evolve. I can improve as a human being and as a developer. So I'm also potentially interested in taking a look at Beautify, which I hear all the cool Vue folks really, really like. They have some of the, any site like this, documentation counts for everything. And Beautify has some really nice components. They seem to really fit the bill in terms of everything that I would care to use. How can you not want to use a framework? This almost sells it for me right here. Sky. I've seen it. I've seen the sky. That's pretty sweet. So All right. I'm getting a little distracted here, but great set of component lists that I think will help me with some of the various things that I ultimately want to do in this registry. Breadcrumbs, buttons. I mean, I could spend hours just jumbotrons. Jumbotrons are a must always. Some parallax stuff. Interesting stuff. Oh, nice. This stream is basically going to devolve into y'all just watching me browsing component websites. Bulma. All right, so okay, I need to move my chat window so I can see what's going on here. Okay. Panoramic 65, Bulma.io. All right, man, I'm gonna go take a look. Bulma, cool. Free sub based on Flexbox. Really? Okay. So responsive, modular, modern, and free. That checks all the boxes. Let me check out the documentation. This might be another one to look good at. Thank you for suggesting it, Panoramics 65. Nice. It's got some pretty, and I like it. There's some good sort of basic. All right. So one of the things that I'm ultimately looking for, because a lot of this is going to be list-based, is to get a good library for a good list view kind of library. So where can I? Okay. Oh, I get it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna peg Bulma to follow up on a little bit later. For today, however, I'm gonna start with Beautify because I've just been itching to try it for a while. But thank you for that suggestion, Panoramic 65. I'll keep Bulma on the list to learn more about. But I like it. Thank you for the suggestion. I said for like the 5th time. I like talking. So now the question is the right way to install this for Nuxt, the right way to get it in. So that I don't bork myself. Like I know when I installed Tachyons, the way that it worked was you install Tachyons, and then just add it to CSS Tachyons, min.css. So maybe, Panoramic's great. Okay, so one of the positives of Bulma is that you don't have to insert a lot of divs into your code. That I like. That is definitely a positive. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Sorry, just checking the stream health over here. Still get finicky about that sometimes. All right, so I'm going to exit out of npm run dev. And so probably the way to do this is npm i Beautify. This is going to take a minute. So while this, did I spell it wrong? Yep. Beautify, not Vuejtify. Oh, because that kind of made me think. Maybe after a stream here, I'm going to create Vuej.js. This kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. All right. So while that's loading up, I'm going to run over to Bulma because we'll check it out more. So KM Monk. Is that Kevin Monk? Thanks for following. If it is you, Kevin, thanks for following, even if your name is not Kevin Monk. But if you are, thanks. I appreciate it regardless. All right, let's see if this is done yet. All right, sweet. So it has been added. Beautify has been added. So now I think this is what I'm going to need to add to my Panoramic 65. Awesome. Thanks for following as well. I appreciate it. It is you. Awesome. Welcome, Kevin. Hey, David. Yeah, we're moving up. Where are we at now? Uh-oh, 40. I mean, I'll be honest with y'all. I kind of actually do want to do this. I do want to dye my hair because I haven't dyed my hair since, well, longer than I care to admit. It's been a long time. It was purple at one point when I was a much younger individual. So I have Tachyons in here, and I think my next step is going to be to add Beautify, and I do believe that this would be the way to do so. So let's do that, and I will npm run dev again. All right, BW, which I'm going to guess, is that you, Brent? Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? You're telling me that the particle blue officially is 00AEEF. True, I will give you that. However, I don't know that hashtag 00AEEF Brandon rolls off the tongue nearly as much as cyan Brandon. I figure since cyan is such a identifiable color with the breathing cyan that is common to particle devices, that I think I'm going to go with that. But thank you for correcting me. I'm going to go back to npm run dev. Unexpected string. Oh well, that would be, man. Compilers are so picky. They make you like write code properly. Like you have to have commas, unless you're writing JavaScript, in which case you don't need semicolons. And that's one of my favorite things. So hosting coming from Dev Chatter. Hey, Dev Chatter folks. I was just waxing about how you don't need semicolons in JavaScript, and let's have that rage battle right now if y'all want to. I caught a little bit of Dev Chatter earlier, pair programming stuff, which was fun. Looked like a lot of fun. So hopefully, I had to bail a bit early, but hopefully you all had a good time doing that today. I was actually talking to a friend. What are you giving me a thumbs down about, Todd? Oh, the semicolon thing. Of course you are. I will have everyone know that in order to properly appease both sides of this argument, that my linter will automatically insert semicolons in JavaScript. So look, so I leave the semicolon off and then I hit save and it inserts it automatically. So everyone wins. I don't have to waste my keystrokes, my limited keystrokes in life. I'll do credit to Scott Hanselman. I don't have to waste my limited keystrokes typing semicolons, and you don't have to be bothered by the fact that I don't type semicolons. And this is a good point, Brendan. Actually, Todd really ought to watch your stream. So Todd, check out Dev Chatter. Way more polished than this garbage that I'm trotting out for y'all right now. I'm just kidding. It's not garbage. It's fun. Okay. All right, Twitch brain. Let me get myself back on. My pinky does not. No, my pinky, it is the weakest finger. I can't. I'm not getting into this argument right now. I'm getting on, and then I'm getting lots of semicolons in chat. So thank y'all so much. This is great. All right. So I'm going to open up the DevTools now. Thank you, Brendan, so much for the extra semicolons. I will use those. I can use those perfectly. Panoramic 65. For me, semicolons are just like the seatbelt in the car. Well, all right. So I will say that there was a point in time where I think I had made the argument to a good friend, to Burke Holland, that semicolons in JavaScript are like brushing your teeth. You don't have to brush your teeth, but you'll be glad if you did. So like I said, the way that I can solve this very cleanly is just to have my linter insert them for me automatically. So everybody wins. And I'm going to need to make a clip of this 5 minutes of me justifying my opinions towards semicolons. All right. Where was I? Let me see if I was going to check in the console to see if I could quickly find view. I don't know if it's going to end up being in there or not. No, it won't be in the network tab. Well, why not? Let's just go ahead and start using it and just see what happens. So, all right. So if I have Beautify now, the first thing that I want to use with Beautify is I don't know that I want a data table. That seems so, it's too businessy for me. I want a list. There we go. Just simple list. Doesn't have to do much. That's a fancy list. I'm not, like I say, I'm not weighing in on the debate. I'm just saying that semicolons appear in my code. And Brendan, you just unfollowed. Thanks, man. Why you gotta be so cruel? All right. I want to use vlist. Of course, this looks a lot like, are all these libraries just created for the purpose of building mail apps? Mail apps and to-do lists? Oh, whatever. Just give me, let's just start with the basics here. What's the code for this one? Oh my gosh. I see. Inbox search, vlist, 2-line. All right, we'll start small here and just go kind of one little piece at a time. So the important thing for the purposes of this demo is to take this index that really doesn't do anything right now, and instead of it being a UL, it will be a vlist. And let's just stick with default for now. Okay. So Brendan, many times in my chat I've had the it's okay to use tabs or spaces but not both. I would agree with that. As the popular languages are good for different things, choose one that you like and it's good for what you're doing. Totally agree. I agree with both of those things. I am very agreeable right now. Absolutely agree with both of those things. Yeah, are you not hearing any music, Brandon? I have some. Is it just like super quiet? Let me turn it up a little bit. Yeah, let me know if you can hear any music on the stream now. Anything at all, anything at all. The voice of peace. The voice of peace in your chat. Try not to get two sides, not to kill each other. That's great. I think that's awesome. I have this warring battle going on inside my head, and I just don't. I need a third, very slightly hearing music. Okay, all right. Well, let me pump it up more. I've been trying to get the right balance on music, so y'all tell me if it's too loud or. I mean, there's kind of a little lilty piano thing going on right now. Let me go to the next song. Also quiet. All right, y'all ping me if there's ever a point where the music gets so loud that you can't hear me anymore. Or maybe that's what you're going for. Maybe you don't want to hear me, in which case it's all right. I can't really blame you. All right, so vlist template, and so change this li to template. Good level we're at now. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. I'll stick with that then. Okay, so there's some sub pieces to this that I have to figure out. vdivider, vlist title content, avatar, item title, item subtitle. So let's just, again, these kinds of components are great because there's a lot of things you can do with them, but I'm just looking for like the most bare bones thing that I can do here right now. So, vlist title content. Formatting failed. Well, yeah, because I did it wrong. Music is more interesting than streamer. Always true. Okay, cool. Thank y'all for helping me figure that out. I want to take note of these decibel levels and sort of keep them at this spot where I can. Okay, template cannot be keyed. Place the key on the real element. Oh yeah. Okay. Certainly, I will key on the content for the proper bit of indexing. And I don't know that I have everything that I need here, but I'm gonna go ahead and refresh and it's an absolute mess. Looks worse than it did before when it had no formatting. Cool. So I'm doing something wrong. Colon, the Brandon Satcham story. Okay. So in this example here, I don't need a header. So let me sort of wrap my head around what's happening here. Header, item header, vdivider, item divider, list title, vlist item avatar. I mean, do I have to use vlist title? I'm slightly regretting this decision to go with Beautify right now. Maybe. All right. Let's see what happens now. Cannot. Well, yeah. Yeah. Library attributes name. So the title that I want is the name of my library. Oh, and actually, if this works correctly, then this solves one of my design things that I wanted to mess with. vlist title. Right? Did I do it wrong? Cannot read properly. Property attributes of undefined. Oh. Excuse me. Where did I get that from? Library attributes name. I obviously don't know it either, Brendan, which is why we are here right now trying to learn it. Okay. This may be one of those cases where I back out and bail and then we sort of continue on with some of the other things. Because I do have some other fun stuff that I wanted to do to actually add the details page, create filter tabs, all that good stuff. So, however, let's try. And I will tell you that Bulma is looking better and better every minute. All right, so I'm obviously missing something here. vlist, 2-line. Template v4, vsubheader, vdivider. Maybe that's where the key needs to be on the divider, huh? Okay. Before I do content, we will do vlist, velsif. Oh. Mm-hmm. All right. So now I have a long, nasty list. Back out. Okay, well, all right. So we know to a certain extent that Beautify is actually working because I'm not getting any weird. Oh, maybe it's not though. Actually, vlist content, and it's just showing up as a bunch of. Oh, my bundle has errors. Do I need to? Did I make the mistake of adding this and not rebuilding? Let's find out. And in the meantime, let's go to the old Google. I don't want a starter template. I don't want a starter template. How to use Beautify in Nuxt. Is it at Nuxtjs Beautify? Why don't I click on the first link instead of scrolling halfway down the page? Yeah, these are getting rendered incorrectly. So I'm doing something terribly wrong. Let's see here. Well, maybe that's the way to go. npm I at nuxt.js/vuetify. Then add that to my modules, as I did with .env yesterday or Tuesday. That's not it. At Nuxtjs/Vuetify. All right, seems to have loaded. And I think that means that I can take this out. I don't want to cause any weird issues. And let's get back to npm run dev and see where we go. All right. Default adds Beautify to start of option CSS. Okay. If this works as one hopes it would, I should get something at least a little bit more like an actual list here. Okay, now we have ourselves an actual list. Great. We have Beautify added. Cool. Now instead of the unrecognizable tags, we have actual divs with classes. Okay. There you go. Lesson learned. Install the module. I should have done that at the beginning instead of trying to figure it out for myself. All right. So now that we're there and we are good to go, I'm going to come back to my index. So I have title content, which is my name. And then I'm going to add a subtitle that actually has the description of the library. And let me see if I can remember the... If I remember the API, the shape of the JSON object, it's library.attributes.sentence. If I remember that correctly from the Device Cloud API. Incorrect. Oh, well, I got to put it in the right place. That's why. Yep. Okay. Come on. All right. We are getting somewhere. My hyperlinks are not there, though. Bums me out. So I'm sure... Oh, well, that's because it's a title. So could I should think out loud instead of just staring off into the distance. So if I wrap this in my hyperlink, vlist title, and then take everything here off. Will that work? Hey, it's always fun to try stuff out. Cool. So, number one on my list here, NeoPixel by Adafruit and Technobly. Mr. Brett Wallach himself. I love the NeoPixel library. Look at the NeoPixels on the wall behind me. Woo! They go crazy whenever I talk about how much I love NeoPixels. It's mind. That was my brain doing that. There's nothing on my desk. There's no buttons that I'm hitting on my desk that are causing that to happen. Okay. So we have ourselves a little bit of a table now. I would say I don't want to go too much further because now it's actually time to commit some code and talk about. Let me open up another terminal window. Because, yeah, I want to commit here. And let's go back to add UI framework to site. I will call that done. So added, before we do anything else, we'll just add that real quick. Beautify. Closes number one. Enter. Push. Okay. So let's add this over here. Did I do it wrong? Whatever. Okay. So I have, so now that we've got this, and it's, we need to do a little bit more padding, however. Because I don't like that this is like right up against. So what's the Tachyons? I think there's some Tachyon stuff for padding. Just use that. Oh my, nope, I do not want to print. Padding. There we go. It's not the kind of padding. This is not the padding you're looking for. Well, I guess I could. What happens if I do float width of 90%? And not just like that, but class. To nothing. Oh, you know what? I probably need to do that on my list. Even still. My dev tools out here, figure out what's going on. Layout. This is my giant div. Width 90%. Yeah, that's not going to do anything to display inline. Float left. Oh, not float left. I don't want to float it. I don't want to float it. What I want to do is add. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Not a CSS person. Well. No, maybe Tachyons is not the right place to do that. Let's just do simplify it even more. And I'll just add a style block here. bottom, and I will say, oh wait, let's scope it. And let's just say div padding 20 pixels just to see if that works. Let's close that. Maybe I will. Let me get in these rat holes. Hey Mohit, how's it going? I'm in a CSS rat hole right now. I'm about to get out of it. I'll figure this out. CSS role list vlist. Oh yeah. Duh. That's what I need to do. I need to put a padding on my vlist, not on this main one. It's not going to do anything. So that's right. With any framework like this, components have class names that you can use accordingly. Still not doing it for me. I just don't like that it's just right up against the edge of the screen. I don't like it. So there's already padding on vlist. And mine did not. Ah! That's what I get for scoping it. Scoping! That was my problem. Okay. I'm just going to set 20 pixel margins all around. Margin left, 20 pixels. And then, let's see. We do like a... I'm guessing there are probably like settings inside the list itself that I can do to handle some of these things, but I will mess with that later. So div class vlist underscore title content. So I'm going to do a padding. Margin bottom of 10 pixels between each of these. Okay, there we go. All right, we have ourselves a bit of a list. It is not the prettiest list, but it's a little bit more formatted than it was before. There's probably a lot more that we could do with Beautify, and I will explore those options, but you guys and gals do not want me to be just doing this on the stream, just reading crap. Be done. So I want to actually move this into a component. That's sort of the next piece. This is right now a listing of all of my official libraries, and I want to do something to make this a little bit cleaner. So what I'm going to do in order to actually create a component for this is really quickly, where is my, 1 second. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to create a component for this in index view. So I'm going to take this right now and I'm going to move this out. Or I'm going to copy it for now. But index view, I'm going to create in the components library a new file called libraries.view. I'm going to copy this in. Look at my cheat reference here. Make sure I got it. I will keep my map state. Keep this all here in terms of everything I'm doing with the store. I'll save that in, and then when it actually comes to adding to the index, my index is going to change a little bit. So this is becoming a libraries view. I will share this because the next thing I'm going to do is actually create a little bit of filter across all of, create a filter that shows me the different kinds of libraries across all of these. So the next step is to, in my index view, to take this out and to do template div libraries, just like that. And now a script, and I will import. Nope. Come on. Import. Trying to get my snippet to trigger. What is happening? All right, whatever. I know what it is. Import from components. Libraries.view. Okay, and we're just going to call this libraries. Cool. Let's see if this whole thing blew up. Ah, it's still good. Yay. Just to prove it. Oh, fine, because I don't have that at the root. Whatever. Well, why is it not working? Oh, well, because it's not just export default. I have to actually get the library in components, libraries, and async. So I'm going to do that piece right there. And then the next piece that I need to do is actually pass in the data. Right now, okay. So that piece is working, but I want to change that up to actually load a specific, set of libraries. So this is my index page. So this is gonna load up sort of the public list. So what I'm ultimately end up doing is creating an async call to my store to dispatch an action to load the public library. So we're going to do a little bit of fiddling right now to get this to work, but async fetch from the store, and I'm going to await a store.dispatch. We're going to call this load items. How about load libraries? And the items I want to load here are this is the public flag. That's what I want to use. Great. So now that that's been done, I need to actually go into my store and change what's happening right here. So instead of this being a Nuxt server init, I'm going to change this to actually be, everything else will stay the same, but I'm going to change this action to be load libraries. And as before, I will await my particle list of libraries, but this time I'm actually going to take this command, the scope, and take the scope that's passed in and use that to specify what I'm going to do. So this will end up coming handy in just a moment. Scope, and I still have my token. And that should be it. Everything else there. Okay, now it's just giving me the main foo library. Oh yeah, because I think I actually need to do something in my component now to pull this out. Right. Well, map state should work as before. Well, how about I spell it correctly? Load libraries. And they're back. Cool. I love it when stuff works, period, but I especially love it when stuff works and there are people watching. you know, it's kind of way that I feel like less of an idiot when stuff actually works. So it's good. Okay, so now that we have done that, what we've done is we've morphed the store a bit to use a libraries component. This libraries component doesn't have anything specific to the scope, the type of libraries that are getting built, nor does the store itself. That ends up actually happening from the actual index page. So this individual page itself that loads on the main screen, that's the one that has all that information to pull just the public list of libraries. So I'm going to go ahead and commit that. Well, let's see. Where does that line up to one of my items here on the list here? Yep, I got my component. So let's go ahead and run a commit here, and never mind you. I'm just going to use command line. Ah, my window got. Okay. So, great. So, git add. Commit message is create libraries component. Closes. What do I have here? This actually has a checklist. Root component, modify Nuxtjs fetch, change Nuxtjs load items, modify actions. Hey, it's cool. I didn't even need to look at my checklist. And it all actually works. Closes. Number 5. And push. That. Hey, Senor Jota, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for saying hello. That was weird. Just had to do a little bit of a rebase there. Don't know why. I'm the only one committing to this repo right now. That's odd. All right. So we call that one good. Hey, and hey, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. We're having some fun with Vue and Nuxt and the Particle Device Cloud API, trying to build a registry, a public registry of firmware libraries in the Particle ecosystem. What? Where did that come from? Did y'all see that? What? All right. What did I accidentally mess with? I went from a nicely formatted list to a non-nicely. Oh, it's back again. Did I accidentally not include my config? Did Nuxt Beautify not get npm I? Beautify. See what's happening in my other window here. It's still good. What do I do now? Oh, Nuxtjs. I need a linter on every command line command that I type. We shut this one down, and we will do npm run dev again here in a moment. Oh, that was very strange. I hope that did it. Updated, so it's already there. Trippy. I don't know what's happening. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, maybe don't ever rebase if you don't know why it's happening, because I probably did this to myself somehow, some way. I did this to myself. Only I am to blame. Ugh. And now it's working, but I'm kind of horrified because I don't know why. Let's, however, just move on and pretend that everything is fine. Everything is fine. So, okay. A few other things. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to actually, here, let me move these up. I sort of had my initial thinking of order before. The next thing I want to do is actually add some filter pages. So if you look at the Particle docs for libraries, let's see, there we go, detailed reference. List libraries. The scope option gives you a few different options. Public, which is what we're listing now. Private, which lists only your private libraries if you're logged in with an account that's published from libraries. My libraries, both public and private. We're using a dummy account here. I do have on my list later, I want to actually add some OAuth login to this so you can actually view your private and mine. But for now, we're just going to do public, official, verified, and featured. And so the way that that is going to work is very, very simple. We're just going to start with doing some duplicate pages. So I'm going to take index.view. I am going to copy and paste it. We're going to change index1 view to be, what's the next one on the list? Official. Official.view. And all I need to do here, now that I have abstracted out my store dispatch and I'm passing in the scope to use, I just need to change this to say official. And then once I've done so, I can navigate to, from my home page, I can navigate to official on the URL, and now I have the list of official libraries. Cool. So what are the other ones that I said we would add? Official, verified, and featured. So now let's duplicate that one. Verified. Cool, cool, cool. So, oh, test it. I'm just adding another one before I copy. Featured. And this should be featured. Okay. So now, I should be able to go to official, verified. See the list of verified libraries. This is correct. Again, it is. Right now we're not doing paging. That's another thing I should add to my list. I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a note here. Just add paging. I'll know what I mean later. Maybe. Verified and featured. I spelled that wrong. Or is there nothing? Maybe there's nothing in the scope for that right now. Let us check my wonderful new favorite terminal thingy. Curl. Scope. And check it, change the featured scope here and just see. Okay, it's empty. That's fine. So I have the page for that. There's actually nothing coming back from the featured list right now, but that's okay. At least it didn't break with an empty array, so that is good news. So I would count that as done. We have actually added now, filter pages. I've been added those as tabs now. We're actually going to add a top nav for that in just a moment. We'll do that in a layout and mess with some of that stuff a little bit. For now, however, I'm going to commit that one now as well. Status. Git add. Those are the, yep, those new pages. That's all that's changed. Added filter pages and closes. Number 6. And push. Nope. Push that way. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so that's been pushed. That has been added. Now let's actually work on a top nav piece. So the way that this works is we can actually add a layout that will then be applied to all of the pages in our site. One of the reasons why I'm using Nuxt here, in addition to just view by itself, is because Nuxt, and there are other frameworks like this as well. I can't remember the one for React now. I've used it before. But Nuxt actually provides you a lot of these folders as conventions, and it sort of knows the right places to look to scaffold your application out based on just where you place things. So you don't have to do a lot of manual tying together of your application based on the stuff that that normally, you know, the kinds of things that if you're building a Vue application from scratch, you have to specify a lot of the stuff. Nuxt just sort of clears a lot of that cruft out for you and just says, if you want pages, put them here. You want components here, assets here, plugins, layouts, etc. And you go off to the races. So in the case of layouts, you can create a default layout, and that layout, as the name indicates, will be your default. So default.view. And this will start with a template, and we'll do a div and a header. And a nav. And then we will do Nuxt link. Just using Emmet here to make my life a little bit easier. We have 4 pages: featured, index, official, verified. So Nuxt link times 5. And bam. Sweet. So we will call this one home. This one will be, I'll just call it public. Public. Messed myself up. Public. Official. Verified. And featured. Don't need that last one. That should show up. Rendering. Oh, yeah. It's kind of an important piece I need to add there as well. And then I need to add Nuxt to actually do the rendering of the main part of my application. Once I have done that. Cannot read property name of undefined. Let's go back to home here. That may be a... Where is that coming from? Terminal here. See if I'm getting any more help from the terminal. Router link. Oh. Well, I need to actually specify to home for official, verified, and featured. Here's hoping. All right, now we have a tiny little top navigation. And because I'm using Nuxt 2 links, I should be able to click public, official, verified, featured, which will still be empty, but you can see all of those. That navigation works really easily. I didn't have to configure any routing. I'm so happy about that. Well, let's actually style this in a couple of ways, and I'm actually going to do... I'm going to add a class here, and we'll do a little bit of Tachyon stuff here to clean this up. So add flex, width of 75, justify around, give it F4 for size, padding 1. Justify around, not justify around, justify around 75. When things don't work for Brandon, it usually means that I have made a typo. It is true in life, it is true in the code that I write. Okay, so now let's actually add a style, because I want to do something. What I want to do is to underline... well, there's a few things. I'm going to actually add a style here. So let's see. Option, command, down arrow. Oops. All over the place. Option, command, down arrow gives me 4 cursors, and I will add class equals link underline hover. So once I have that, it should take away the underlines unless I hover over any of those items. What it doesn't do is tell me sort of which page I'm on currently or which link that I've currently clicked. So in order to do that, I'm going to add a style, and there is a Nuxt class for this. Nuxt link. For instance, well, I'll show you what it looks like. So which page are we on? Public. If I inspect this, look at the CSS, you can actually see this Nuxt link exact active here. That class is on. It's not the rest. It's not on the rest of these, but it is on this one. So I can use that class in order to specify this is the one that I want you to show underlined at this moment. So I will add that. Nuxt link exact active. Font weight. Nold. And text decoration of underline. Statement completion was invented for developers like me. I'm okay with it. I'm aware of it, and I'm okay with it. So public's now highlighted, official. You see when I navigate to that page, verify, featured. So we have ourselves a pretty decent little registry here that's coming together. There's still a lot to be desired, still a lot that I am sure that we will want to do. And we can start to do some of that now. But it's kind of neat. I'm happy. Hope you're happy. We're making progress. So let's check this in. This is the piece I was working on, was adding top nav with routes for list filters. And all of that is there. So let me go over to my other console window. Clear. And get status. Should only see, yep, just the one layout. So git add. Commit. Edit top nav. Closes number 7. Push. All right. And we are moving along. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to do, some page transitions. Let's do that. Let's do that one real quick. Because it's kind of neat. You can actually do some stuff to do some easy page transitions in between the different between these different screens. Like right now, if I go from one screen to the next, really nothing. Not to click on one of those. Excuse me. It just loads the page and it just comes up automatically. But it'd be really cool to do a bit of a transition there, and I can do that by adding some CSS to my assets folder. So the way that that works is that I will just add a new file. We'll call it assets.css. And there's a few different things that you can do. Page enter, page leave, interactive. This is something that Vue and Nux provide out of the box, so it's really easy to actually do transitions from one page to the next. You can do crazy things with it. We're just going to keep it pretty simple, and we're going to do a page enter, page leave to, an opacity of 0, page enter active. So when the page is entered, or when you're in the middle of transitioning from one page to the next, we're going to go set the opacity to 0 and then turn the opacity on, transition back to full opacity, or transition from full opacity, leave active, to transition for three-quarters of a second. I don't know. I'll show you what this looks like really quick. So if I go from public to official, yar, yar, yar. We'll just set it to half a second. Page enter, page leave to, enter active, page leave active. Maybe this is something I need to refresh the page for. Oh, I need to register. So I have my assets.css created, but I need to, sorry, not assets.css, main.css, or whatever. You can call it whatever you want, but let's just call it transitions.css. And now I need to go into my Nuxt config. So I will need to exit out of, and I will add in CSS. Right, tilde, assets, main.css. And that should be good now. npm run dev. Could not compile. Oh, well. Ugh. You actually have to name things the correct name of things in order to get things to work. Funny how that works. I think I'm noticing as I'm seeing sort of my camera right now that like this side of my this side this side of my face today is kind of dark. I gotta do something about that. Myself a little light on this side. This side. That's the one. Okay. So we are now reloaded. So now I can go from public to official, and I should see a transition. Woo! That's kind of quick. Just verified. It's funny, it goes through that quicker than I could. Like it sort of does the transition and then go back here and see if I can. Make it 1 second and see if that. Oh, it loads so quickly. It's so quickly I can't even. Something to clean up later. But we have a sort of brief transition between pages. We go from public to official to verified to featured. A few other things that I want to do here now that I am thinking about it. This title is common to every page and probably should be in my layout. Not in my index Is it in all the pages? No. Where's my libraries? Libraries plugin. Yeah, this does not need to be here. I'll put that in my index view. Oh, no. I want this in my layout. Silly Brandon. Above my header. Or maybe below header. Headers are headers, right? I'll just put that right there. Okay. The amazing particle libraries registry. There we go. Now that won't be affected in the page transitions. It's funny how those things will highlight that kind of stuff. So simple little refactorings. So, okay, so I would say the page transitions are done. That piece is kind of nice. I do want to go back to Beautify real quick and look at where I can add a toolbar title. Of course, that's assuming I have a toolbar. So I don't want to do that. Item header. Maybe that's what I want. Subheader. That be it? Let's do that. And on my libraries, just realized I got the code screen, code window here kind of wide. Okay. Oh, I see. I actually didn't add a vlist title, so maybe that's the thing that I can add. Vlist title. That's probably the thing that I need to key on. Vlist title. See if that changes my. Didn't seem to impact anything, so that's good. This didn't break anything. But now I can actually do a title. Right, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh no, that's the individual item. So I still do want this subheader here. Okay. Yep. So that subheader will be what? And what should I? Let's see. Let's just see if we can get this to working. Oh no, that's not where I want that. Arrgh. This is an individual item. This is my template. Those are each individual item, so that's not what I want. Ultimately, I'm trying to add a title to the page that shows not just what's selected here, but sort of some idea of what's been selected here. But I think I'm gonna bail on that idea for now because I'm getting a feeling that would be a rathole. So I've added the page transitions. Anyway, I need to check in and check in my code anyway. So let's now go. So git add. All right, check what I got. Yep. Git add, git commit. Page transitions. Closes number 13. Push. All right. We're trucking along. May be able to deploy this thing to Zeit by the end of the day. Let's see if I can do that. Do some grid formatting. That's the other thing that I want to do too. A little bit of fancy grid formatting. It might take me a little while. So for now, let's add a fav icon, because that's actually something that right now we've got this Nuxt fav icon. We can do better than that. In the way that the fav icons are, Nuxt config actually has your there's a section for head details like meta tags and all that kind of stuff as well, including an image here to the fav icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snag. See, I'm going to snag one of the particle fav icons. So let's go to console.particle.io/fav icon. No, you're not going to let me have that, are you? It's not indexable. Naturally. Some of that's a silly business I can do later. No, for the life of me, I'm struggling to forget how you can snag a fav icon from the site. Let me see if I can get it in sources. Fonts, assets. Can you search this tab anymore? How? Oh. Come on. Yeah, all right, I'll find it. There's a place internally I can find it. So this has been moved. We're moving this off the stream. That's an easy one anyway. Well, I think it's easy, but I'm not going to fumble about doing it here. So we got 3 more things I think that we can get through. In the next 20 or 30 minutes or so, we're going to add some descriptors to the list. Right now we have the name, author, and sort of the single sentence for the library itself. You can see, if you go back in here, curl. Look at official libraries. That for each individual library, there's a link to the download, and there's a number of attributes I can use. I'm going to pull off the, I'm getting the author. I'm using the sentence right now. I have the URL that I'm using for URL here. And I want to use the installs and the version number. So let's throw those in here as well. Have some fun with that. Okay. So make sure this is the one that I'm working on. Yep. And this is in my, so again, the advantage of now putting this in a component is that I can mess with this all over the place and be fine. So, and I have a subtitle. Let's see what else I can do with Beautify. So instead of doing an avatar here, I am going to vlist title avatar. What are my options here if I can do something with a list that's like, here we go. Avatar with title and action. Star. So that's an icon. Want to do that. This is kind of what I'm looking for here. Subtitle, some info, action text. So like, where does this show? V divider. No. It's over the star. Where's the star? Expansion list. I don't want the expansion list, but I like the icons. I don't want the icons. I just want to use that for number of downloads. My title, the icon. Pre-pinned icon. Can I do like dividers here? Okay, so I see a name, there's a headline, there's a title, subtitle, and then an action star, but above that, there's a little time value coming from. What is that? In the dev tools. List title, action text. That's the action text. Okay, okay. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay. I can live with that. So list title action. Right, so I have title, subtitle. Okay, let me see how this maps to what I got. I got content. Yeah, let's use this and then just strip some stuff out of it. So after list title content, I can do title action here, and we will do library attributes dot, what did I say it was? Installs. See what we got here. Oh, so silly. Cannot read property index of undefined. VF. Well, no, because it would give me a 0 even if which one am I on? I'm on public. Oh. No. Just take this piece out. Just messing around. Nobody else. Just color. Give me a nice little star. Public list. Okay, I see the installs, but it's like below. I don't need that little star thing. If I do the list title action before the content, what'll that do? Hey there, Morlandra. Welcome. Thanks for saying hello. Just having some fun messing around with the Particle Firmware libraries API and building a public registry with Vue and Nuxt. And right now, not dealing with, but educating myself on Beautify. So I'm using a vlist. I have my number of downloads here. I don't know, maybe I'm trying to get too fancy. I could just put it under the list itself. Like, what if I put the action in the content? Does that work? Does that sort of nesting actually help me at all? Ah, there we go. I don't know if this is the way these things are supposed to be used, but it's working. Okay. So name of the library, who it's by. Maybe I want that on the same. This in a span. If I put this in a span and then no, I don't want to mess with that. Nice. That's awesome. You wrote the first few versions of the new particle library? Awesome. Very cool. I am... All right, so what was the other thing I said I wanted to add? Not just author, but also... Oh, yeah, the version. Let's get the version number in here next to the name. Yeah, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll do it in here as well. Ah, that's actually, yeah, the one that you're talking about. We have not migrated to a new one since. That is still the same one that we are using. So the Particle JavaScript API, I actually have a tab open for it right here. It's good stuff. I love it. That is what I'm using today inside of Vue and Nux, and it's working really well. Promise-based, all this wonderful stuff. And because we now live in an async await world in my store, I'm just asyncing awaiting all over the place to list libraries and all that good stuff. She said, I spent a year trying to convince the Zax that a developer advocate position was really important, and thank you so much. I think you planted seeds that I think made a difference, so awesome. If we ever get a chance to meet in person, I owe you a cup of coffee, drink, whatever. Yeah, async await is awesome. I've been very happy. Happy it's a node, excited to use it in the browser as well. Okay, so I think I was also going to add, I want to add version. Let me get back to my actual library, my component. Sorry to hear that. You know, startup life, there's always, I actually, another story for another time. I did the startup thing last year, failed startup thing. And it's tough. It comes with its share of challenges. There's fun things about it as well. There's always excitement, but hey, didn't all work out, but it's always great when you can, you know, still have excitement about what the company's doing. And I've definitely been in that situation before. I worked at a tiny little startup by the name of Microsoft many years ago. Not in the startup days, but a long time ago. And they are a much different company than the one that I departed. And I'm pretty excited to see their success. So that's cool. All right. I also wanted to add, what's this going to do here? This is where I might be getting into my well, that shouldn't really matter. If I also do version, and actually maybe I want to transpose those, but library attributes dot version. See what I get there. Boop, boo, boo. Awesome. I figure I'll do the version first, install second. Because why not? I'm going to take a drink. Just 1 second. So Merlander, what are you doing now? If you're still on, I'd love to hear what kind of work you're doing lately. And okay, so I feel pretty happy. I mean, it doesn't look perfect. There's more that I want to do to clean up this list. And sort of zoom in a bit so we can get a list, get a view here. I have the name, I have the authors, sentence description, version, and installs. There's a few things I have on my list for adding, platform lists and all those kind of wonderful things. I had some cool ideas for using icons for platforms. I will add that later. But for now, I think we can call this one done. Add library descriptors. That's number 3. So get status. Just, yep. Git add. Creating technical content at Twitch. That's awesome. I've been here for a year and just transitioned to a new role, focus more on streaming. That is awesome. So I am only like on week 3 of streaming, and I'm absolutely hooked. This is a lot of fun. So thank you for the work that you and the rest of the Twitch team do, because it's a lot of fun. And I love that there is a growing developer community on Twitch. I mean, I could spend my days just with a tab open with a lot of the streamers that are out there creating really awesome stuff, from game development to, you work for Twitch, so I don't need to tell you, but it's great. And then also there's the gaming side of it. And my kids love that I have some channels favorited for Super Mario Odyssey, and then it's always fun to sort of watch people. You can always pull up a Super Smash Brothers channel at any time and have some fun. So there's a lot of stuff out there, but that's cool. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the work you do. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I have my title, action. Oh yeah, I was in the middle of committing. Git commit. Yep. Added extra details to list. I forgot. You have a community Discord. I will get in that. I'm always a little bit shy about Discord channels, but I will get in there. I got to be more outgoing with that. Adafruit has an awesome Discord channel as well, and I need to spend more time in there for sure. Okay, we're gonna get on a rat hole in a minute, so get amend commit, because I do this to myself all the time and I always forget. Let's get commit amend and press enter. glog 5. Okay, so that's that. This last one here, I want to change that. I need to fix that commit. Yeah. Get commit amend. Yes, I meant with 2 dashes. I'm sorry. Okay, added extra details to list. I don't know, I had to look that up. I think I would know it. Closes. Okay, we fix this now. Closes number 3. Escape. I can exit Vim. Not everybody can, though. All right, so now let's check glog3. Cool. All right. I'm out. And we push. Okay. Did that not work? Oh, it did. Okay. Just took a second to show up. Okay, grid formatting to the list page. I'm going to punt on that one because, frankly, I don't think that it's going to be too terribly much fun. I like the format I've got now. I do need to clean it up, fix it a little bit, but it's at least a start. Can add some dividers in between, some other stuff like that. But I will now get on to the last item on my list. How many issues we get close to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty good. All in a couple hours of streaming work. Let's deploy to Zeit so that we can actually get this site out and do some fun stuff with it. And this I do not know how to do. I think that I have now installed on my machine. I don't. Oh my gosh. Did my homework. I was reading about this a little bit this morning, so I'm sort of have a passing. Yeah, Zeit is awesome. So the startup that I mentioned earlier that I did very briefly was actually another hosting startup, sort of a cloud hosting targeted at Node developers, and we were out before the Zeit folks, and so I got to know Guillermo and that team, and Zeit is awesome. I'm very happy that they're still around and they're doing great work and kicking ass. So you cannot deploy a server-side rendered Nuxt app with now v2 right now. I think that's okay. This is not the thing I was looking at earlier. Oh yeah, so my Particle email is Brandon, just Brandon at particle.io, and Zach is still z@particle.io. So yeah, definitely hit me up. I would love to talk more about streaming in general and all the stuff y'all are doing. It's been a ton of fun to do hardware streaming. I'm doing mostly software today, but I actually had I had one of my other screens on earlier. Here, I'll switch scenes real quick, but I actually I did a demo of my sort of RC car build from the last couple of weeks here behind me. And that's been a lot of fun. So it's been neat to do this in the context of building hardware and tinkering with things and doing all that kind of stuff. So I love it. Okay, now by example, I think this is where I saw it actually, from the Zeit site. All right, so I need to add, okay, wait, that's to a getting started with. Let me skim through this real quick. Do I have a Nuxt? Here, let me open up my package.json and see if I have a Nuxt to generate. I do. I have Nuxt generate. I have all the right things here. This is just by example, right? About page. In order for Nuxt to be deployed statically, we will use package.json and defined our build options for Nuxt. Yeah. Okay, I may need to set this into spa mode. Maybe that's what it is ultimately, is I need to set my Nuxt config. Yes. So next, build a Twitch extension to let viewers control them. Absolutely. I have these NeoPixel strips on my wall behind me. That is on my list of things to let people control. I'm actually planning out an entire sort of pegboard wall of devices that I will get a webcam set on 24/7 and let people control as well. So yes, I have big hopes and dreams and plans. That should be that'll be a lot of fun. So I probably need to go into spa mode. So if I do that, I wonder if that's going to get me out of server-side rendering. That's okay for now. Deployment is the goal here. Should still work. 50 feet of NeoPixels. That is so awesome. I don't have that much, but I am acquiring them and have been for years. I'm not in the Bay Area. I'm actually in Austin, Texas. So I was just out in San Francisco last week. Did a hotel room stream. That was kind of fun. But yeah, no, I'm in Austin now, but I'm out in the Bay Area quite a bit. Are you? I presume that you're there. Okay, so I'm going to need a now JSON file. Okay, so once I'm in SPA mode, I should be able to do that. So I need to create a now JSON config file, use the newest version of now 2.0, add a version key to the now JSON, define each of the builders. Okay, so I think this is what I want. Okay, in this case, we're going to use now static build and build our selected package JSON as our entry point. Cool. So this, I think, is what I want for my now JSON file. So to create new, save this under particle libraries, and this will be now.json or JSON. Nuxt static. Make sure that added that in the right place. Did. We also need to include a script in package JSON named now build that specifies what command to run. So now build will just be nuxt generate. We'll create a folder called dist. So let me go on package JSON. Add a script for now build. Now ready to deploy. Of course, the problem is, I think all I need to do here. I'm so upset at myself. I haven't put now on this machine yet. So npm ig now. All right. Of course, now I don't remember my no existing credentials found. Please log in. Make sure the security code. Okay. I'm going to go over to the secret tab here to get my email so that I can verify that I'm good to go. Get my confirmation code in here. I'm gonna put myself back on my RC cars just so you can't see me messing with secrets. Oh, speaking of, open my email and I see a confirmation that I got an Adafruit order that's on the way. I love shipping notices from Adafruit. It's one of my favoriteest things ever. Okay, I'm good. Email address confirmed. Can go back. Go back into the split screen. Cool, more Lundra. So I think y'all's offices are actually relatively close to where Particle is now on post, right? I could have sworn I saw that on Google Maps recently. So let me run the now command and using project nuxt static. Says it's initializing, building. I won't be able to see that because I've got my little banner thing up there. Go up. Not far. Cool. All right. Well, the next time I'm out there, I definitely would love to meet you in person. I imagine it'll be relatively soon. No. Only been in the new office once. All right. That's all right. Let's say it's building. Where's it going? In the meantime, let me go to the go to my site here in the clipboard and see what's going on. Building, building, building. Sure, it's taking a while. Ready. Fingers crossed. Well, come on now. Hey, and we have a deployed Nuxt website on site now. That's good stuff. And I mean, the stream is over in 2 minutes. So, wow, it's almost, I couldn't have even planned it that way. That's fantastic. So that has all worked. Let's just go ahead and commit. And we will be done for the day. And I will paste this into the stream. If anybody's watching later and wants to check out this registry that I now need to clean up and make look a lot fancier, but hey, we're in a good start, so very, very good. So git commit deployed configured mint closes number 12, and that is it for this stream. Push, GG push. I think we are good to go. So awesome. Thank y'all again so much for spending some time hanging out today, for watching me as we sort of recovered from some of the Tuesday derps and did a little bit more here. I'm excited. So we actually have a deployed site that's running sort of a basic registry with filtering. Ultimately want to add searching to this, want to add detailed pages as well with a bit more information. But this is a good start. So thank y'all again for hanging out today. I will be back again next week. So keep an eye on the events page, Twitter, all that good stuff. So have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.